Trapmore gang, a few people have been saying to me recently, why haven't you done a David update? Have you forgotten about the case? Are you letting this slide? Are we just forgetting about Celeste? Absolutely not. I'm back with another update for you guys today. There hasn't been a whole lot going on with David, but I do have some very interesting updates for you guys in this video because it would appear that David is actually back to being active on Instagram, even whilst slipping and sidestepping any kind of arrest. I thought that he was going to get arrested on Valentine's Day. It didn't happen. Everybody was saying that there would be an arrest made from the grand jury in February. We still have about 7 days, just 1 week left of February as of the time I'm making this video. So it could still happen, but unfortunately it's not looking good when it comes to justice for Celeste. And I know that a lot of us are very disappointed to hear that, but today I'm going to give you an update. I'm going to tell you everything new that's been going on over the last couple of days. So this is a post going around on the David2 subreddit. They're saying that David is active again on Instagram. So this is a post where basically a girl was kind of posting about her appearance at the Grammys. Thank you, Grammys, for everything. It was an honor to be a part of it. And what do you know? David liked it. Okay, he's active on Instagram. He's creeping. He's perusing Instagram. Still, in spite of the fact that basically everyone thinks he's going to get arrested this month for murder. It's crazy. Okay, so let's see what people are saying. People are saying it's disgusting that he's even on Instagram. Where is the arrest? This is so frustrating. No effing way. This guy is out here thinking he has a chance to make a comeback. It sickens me every day he goes free. I will never understand. They have so many charges I'd assume to arrest him on, even if not for murder, while this guy is gooning and trying to get attention from girls. Okay, F David, but liking a post doesn't mean he's trying to make a comeback. If he's so brazenly liking pics, knowing everyone's watching his every move, it wouldn't surprise me. Or he's just a 20-year-old that's addicted to his phone and sloppy, which is far more likely, I believe, that is true. Okay. If I were him and I wanted to still be on social media like that and I couldn't break my phone addiction and couldn't not like things, I'd probably just make a burner on the other hand, but his case is so open and shut that I wonder if he just doesn't care anymore because he knows it's over. I think it's more likely he's just young, dumb, and sloppy though. Some people saying, and isn't this the youngest member of Cat's Eye? So this is the route we're taking, David? Interesting. Correction, it's the second youngest. He's been trying to go overseas in Asian countries to be a music hit over there. The label put a lot of money on this piece of trash. I saw the promo photos they had done of David in the countries he's visited over there. Okay, they're saying, get a job, stay away from her. What's worst, is he going to her? He literally brags about, brags that he's a gooner who does that for hours at a time. He's given the Gooners a bad name, unfortunately. That is actually very tragic. If he's already a major suspect of murder, why is he not restricted of anything in the slightest? He hasn't even been announced as a suspect publicly by law enforcement, so he's a free person. He isn't restricted from anything, but he's likely being tracked online and or phones tapped and being followed to make sure he doesn't leave for Vietnam or another non-extradition country. I mentioned Vietnam because of a famous case in Florida where Granny Adelson was on her way to Vietnam via Dubai when they arrested her as she was leaving at the airport with her husband because she coordinated the shooting death of her ex-son-in-law because she hated him and wanted her daughter to have full custody of the kids. Granny is in prison now. That's a crazy case. That's actually a crazy case. Does not really know. The case file is called The People of the State of California versus David Anthony Burke. I think that more than warrants him as the prime suspect. If anything, you can't have a case in your name with everyone who knows you being called to testify if you want a suspect. I think that's a really good point. I know he's a free man, but he's daring, isn't he? I'd say ballsy at best. Daring would be if he actually showed his face in public. He has not shown his face in public once since this happened. Saying he's probably looking for his next victim. She's too old for this sicko. He wants little girls. Neo must be crying. His butt buddy is trying to make him jealous. He's moving a bit mad right now, knowing full well there's a rehearing that really could F him over in the long run. The one thing that I'm still not getting is the fact that David's family has signed petitions to not testify. Wouldn't you only do that if someone is paying you to keep quiet? Or is the fact that his family know where he is and they want to get their story straight before they come under too much pressure and give up his location? They need to bag him now before it's too late and he commits another murder. I know the person that wrote this is British from the way they talk. It says, I'm sure the police are keeping tabs on him. He's most likely at home with his family. They aren't being paid to keep quiet. They are just not actively participating in putting him in jail, which is what most parents would do. He's got some bollocks to leave a digital footprint, leaving a like on somebody's post like this. Okay. We're not going to do a Tommy talk today. It's all long. I've done plenty of Atami deep dives. We've done that to death. Okay. Saying, did David update his highlights? Something changed. I didn't keep screenshots, but I think so. The post from his day in San Francisco with Nia and Asia was in the middle column. Now it's on the right column. Saying, I think the withered highlight pic is different. Interesting. It's crazy. All right. I'm pretty sure the Cat's Eye girls don't even follow him anymore, so this is weird. Also, why not just use a Finster? Why use your main? It's because he wants attention. What's up, David? I know you wanted the attention. All right. Haven't been keeping tabs on this case as of lately, but LMAO, he's not arrested yet. This just goes to show how much wealth and privilege gets you away with. So much. If he were just a regular guy, he would have been arrested as the main suspect as soon as they confirmed he was involved with her. That's facts. That's facts. Why hasn't he been arrested yet? David's also removed the third image off of this post on Instagram. I start medium training to guys tomorrow. Wish me luck. Yeah, that's weird. All right. The image on the right has still been removed from his IG post, but when I last checked, it was viewable on Threads still. He's so full of himself and bragging. There's no way. This is honestly concerning. I hope he's doing this because he's sick and not because he knows he'll get away with it, even given if the case is weak. That's why I don't like it and still don't get what the F is going on. Sorry, I don't blindly trust the LAPD is doing all the right things when this MF is still free. He is a danger to the community. He is a danger to the community, all right? Why is he not been arrested based on the evidence that at least has been seen on social media that would seem to suggest, in some people's opinion, that he was involved with a minor? Anyway, is what it is. I'll show you some more updates from some other things. Now, just a few days ago, private investigator Steve Fisher, who of course was representing the owner of the property that David lived in when the body of the minor Celeste Rivas Hernandez was found in the trunk of a Tesla parked nearby the house that he was renting. The private investigator Steve Fisher has been digging into the case, and he appeared on MK True Crime, and he detailed how David's family is actually fighting this grand jury subpoena in detail. So let's hear what he said about that.
Summoned to testify in California and doesn't want to go. Have you, Steve, have you had any interaction with any of the family, David's family, or just strictly investigation of the scene?
No, I haven't. It's I'll tell you, both his family and Celeste's family are staying unbelievably quiet.
Interesting.
Quiet. And David himself, like, here's a guy who self-admittedly says he grew up on the internet. The fact that he's had this ability for over 5 months to stay quiet and not say anything and clearly follow his attorney's advice is kind of shocking to me. I know his attorney's like, listen, don't say a word, but you would think a 21-year-old kid who's being accused of all this at some point would pop off, especially when he's probably been sitting in the same spot for a long time and not going out and doing things. But he hasn't. And another thing is his friends really haven't either. Yeah. Talked to a couple people, but not the people that are super close. And they've done a good job too. And they've tried to circumvent these subpoenas as well. It hasn't worked out that great. But and it's not just David's father. We find out his mom and his brother also filed writ of habeas corpus, the same thing. So everybody's staying extremely quiet. His management. I just hope something breaks very soon. And to your point earlier, you're talking about, it's about using different means. Somebody will say from the law enforcement and prosecution side of things asked me, why I was taking some of this stuff public. And, the answer to that is, as a private investigator, I don't have subpoena power like prosecutors have. I don't have the ability to write a warrant like law enforcement or prosecutors have.
Yep.
So sometimes I have to dog whistle to certain people and let them know that I know certain things and maybe come talk to me to clarify those things. And you know what? Every single time I get somebody that calls me and has it. So I'm not just blindly going out there and saying, look what I found. Yeah. I have a lot more information than what I've disclosed.
So look, he's been digging, he's been finding a lot of information, and we're all baffled as to how the family can be fighting that subpoena. Okay, people saying, well, David did it and his friends and family knew about Celeste. Everyone in the family's controlled attitude and hesitation says a lot more silently than words can say loudly. The family is clearly trying to gaslight their way out of the situation. They know something. They are family. They just don't want to snitch on David. Saying David's family don't want to help with the case. It shows they're avoiding accountability as they are hiding something they know. It shows guilt. Why not just help with the investigation? I don't think he's been quiet. He's been in every comment section. That is likely. Okay, now Steve would also open up about how he believes that law enforcement actually botched the investigation by failing to collect crucial evidence and surveillance footage in time. And it appeared that he ended up having evidence that the police didn't even have. And we already knew that, but he is now actually pointing his finger at law enforcement for this botched investigation. The fact that David still hasn't been arrested at this point does lead a lot of people to believe that the LAPD are not handling this the best way they possibly could.
Scary, and nobody wants to talk to them, and they just don't.
I'll give you a perfect example of that when you're talking about canvassing and stuff. So, and you would think that this absolutely couldn't happen, but the house directly across the street, like the Tesla used to park on the street in front of the house across the street. It's a very large house. It's owned by somebody that's well known, and it's not their primary residence, and they have an estate manager. And so and I have the video of this. Law enforcement detectives did come by, I think on the like 12th. So before it was announced it was her, and they buzzed the gate and said, "Hey, we're looking for surveillance for a homicide investigation." And they were at the house out of state. They're like, "Well, we're not in state right now, but they'll have the IT person look for." So, which they did have this person look for, but then didn't hear back from the detectives, and I think they played phone tag or whatever. And then, but they had already had a scheduled upgrade of the security system scheduled, and so like the 24th of the month, nobody had come and got stuff yet. So they took the 8 terabyte drive out and replaced it with a new 24 terabyte. But once you take the 8 terabyte out of this particular system, you can never view the files on it again. So 8 terabytes of data of a camera pointing directly at.
Oh my God!
It was gone.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So they pulled the Jeffrey Epstein, man. They pulled the same move as they did with the Epstein footage of his cell. Who is creating and designing these surveillance systems that when you take the hard drive out, it just wipes itself? Does Jeffrey Epstein have a company producing surveillance systems that just what? That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Oh, a surveillance system. We're going to design it so that when you take the hard drive out, it just deletes itself. Are you fucking kidding me? I'm so tired. It deletes it. Oh, you take it out and it deletes it. Are you joking? You take the hard drive out, it just deletes itself every time. Epstein footage, Are you kidding me? What company is developing these surveillance systems that it just implodes. It just self-destructs. Oh, the footage has got... Why's the footage gone? Oh, because we took the hard drive out and put a new hard drive in. Do you not think that if you were putting a new hard drive in a surveillance system, you might want to keep the footage that you recorded up until that point? Nah. Why am I even replacing the hard drive? If you're going to wipe the original hard drive, let's just re-up and use the original one. This is a joke. I'm tired of this surveillance footage bullshit. I might start my own company creating surveillance systems that don't delete themselves. Oh, but then maybe I'll have a little accident, won't I? Maybe I'll have a little accident and check out, because they don't want that. I can't believe, I'm actually pissed. I'm so pissed. I'm tired of hearing day in, day out, surveillance system deleted itself. Whoopsie, no evidence. I'm actually pissed. Can you see how pissed off I am? This is a joke. Anyway, moving on. I'm going to calm down. I'm going to take a swig of my matcha. Oh, that's good. It's a banana pudding matcha or whatever it's called. Okay, I'm going to calm down. So, court records are now confirming that the family's petitions against the subpoenas have been officially denied. Sorry, Burke family. Not going to get away with this one for too long. Not going to get away with this one this time, all right? Online case records have shown in the Texas 1st District Court of Appeals that denied Burke family habeas corpus petitions on February the 16th, ahead of scheduled February the 24th hearing. You got 3 days until we get the Burkes in court. All right, book your flights to LA, or maybe you want to do a long drive. You know, you might want to stop in New Mexico along the way. I hear that's a good way to do the drive. Okay, I hear that's a good way of it going down. So, they have been duly denied. They will be having to testify in front of the grand jury, unless, of course, they want to get arrested, which would be delicious, all right? It would actually be delightful, all right? Dawood Burke, Colleen Burke, Kayla Burke, the whole fam, it's a big link up. We're going to need to see you February the 24th, okay? Motion for rehearing. Let's have it. All right. And they tried to get it sealed. Shame on the Burke family. Shame on them. Justice for Celeste. They had David's record sealed in Queens, New York when he did something back there. He didn't move to Texas until almost 13. He tells people he's from Houston, but no, he's from Queens, New York. Something happened there. It worked once for them, so guessing they have done it. Who knows how many times for different things. However, this is a murder. No one may find out what happened in the past, but it's not going to work this time. Does Caleb have different legal representation to his parents? Says, I don't think so. The law firm is called Schaefer Kennedy Johnson, probably have all the same attorneys enrolled on their behalf. It possibly just populated differently for Caleb. Says, thanks, I found this too. I linked in another comment to the case that suggests the firm may specialize in multi-party conspiracy defense. Sounds about right. Okay. They're basically saying there's a bunch of different reasons that they could have been chosen, okay? But it's not really relevant. People love to share their own life experiences in this subreddit, okay? People saying, I wonder if it's to protect against conflict. There is spousal privilege between Colleen and Dawood, but not between Caleb and his parents. Caleb's legal interest could be in conflict with his parents and would require different attorneys. I'm not a lawyer, though, so anyone who's a lawyer, feel free to weigh in on this. That's actually quite a good call. Now, this is an interesting point that I'm going to touch on. Basically, it turns out the law firm the family is using actually represented Travis Scott for the Astroworld tragedy case. All right? Celebrity using lawyers to skirt responsibility for things that led. I don't even want to get sued by Travis Scott. I think Travis Scott's a piece of shit. Always thought that. Don't care how much clout he has. Don't care about taking a picture with him, bumping into him backstage. Don't give a fuck. He's a cornball. He's a cornball. He's an asshole. The way he treats people is disgusting. His music's not even that good. Yeah, sure, he's got some aura from waving things around on stage, but I really don't give a shit, all right? He's a bitch. So David's family is apparently using the same law firm that represented Travis Scott for the Astroworld deaths. Okay. The demon named David spawned straight out of Astroworld. Saying his Ash should have taken that girl home and he wouldn't be in this mess, setting money on fire. Gonna make his family broke and hopefully still go to jail. This raises the question, will David be using the same law firm for his defense? Thought it might be crazy or stupid for David to drop Blair Burke for SKJM at this point, though David is on crazy stupid side of things. Let's have a reminder. There's a potential or actual conflict of interest if they're testifying as grand jury. I believe it could be waived, but perhaps not, depending on what they testify or may be charged with, what lawyer is comfortable with, and subject to the judge approving a waiver. This all assumes they could appear pro hack vice. Also, as I mentioned in another response. So the Texas law firm, I guess, is handling the Texas court to stop the extradition, I would think that says. They are disgusting. Well, they'll need a different lawyer in California because the Texas lawyer is licensed there in that state. This should be considered obstruction of justice for the PDF murdering son to help him hide his crimes. Okay. It says that's going to cost the Burke family a pretty penny. He ain't got that Travis Scott money. David was having motion, having a billion streams. He ain't got that Travis Scott money. They're going to drain him. They're going to drain him dry like an extra long gooning session, unfortunately, okay? Or one of their houses, which is probably by pretty boy David put the house in his mama name. Birds of a feather flock together, all right? This is from their website. Boasting, rapper Travis Scott avoids charges over Texas crowd crush. A Texas grand jury declined to press criminal charges against rapper Travis Scott and 5 others over a 2021 crowd crush. Yeah, good for you guys. Hope you sleep well at night. It's actually insane. He was saying this entire family is scum, aside from the underage girl, and all of this makes what David did to Celeste less surprising. I guarantee behind closed doors right now, they're calling Celeste a demon who tried to test their faith in God. Also makes me think of how David's mom ran to buy a gun. Dragging your family through your mess and using all your money up when you can just be honest and salvage whatever's left of their regular lives, especially the younger siblings. This guy has a fucking nerve. I wonder if he confessed to them or what unbelievable excuse he told. I have a brother, and if I knew he made a mistake, I'd be explaining to him how to be honest is the best outcome. That's what I was thinking. He ruined so many people's lives. His little sister isn't even 10 years old and had met Celeste before. Even if the family's trying to hide it from her right now, she's going to grow up and hear all about the disgusting details of this case one day. Not to mention seeing her parents and the other brother stress about having to testify, spending money on a lawyer, frantically moving assets around, etc. It's going to be traumatizing. They could know the truth and still want to fight to keep CV26020028A out of prison. The father, with his limited experience in the law, might feel like they can beat the case. His lawyer has released no statements about his innocence. I'm expecting a plea deal, to be honest, but maybe they're hoping the state doesn't figure out everything he did before he's forced to cop to a lesser charge, second degree. This is the lawyer used by the Burks, Kent Schaefer, represented by Travis Scott. I mean, okay. I'm so sick of the parents delaying the inevitable of appearing in the grand jury. Send in the US Marshals for a body attachment on all 3 of them, handcuffs with cameras rolling like Neo. Plaster all their faces on the internet for the so-called Christian circle. Oof. Then if he does, once David is arrested, they'll have to appear at a point in the future. Daddy better not have helped his son with data removal. Absolutely crazy. Okay, absolutely crazy. Now, is there anything else? I don't think there's anything else to say, but look, okay. I thought Valentine's Day was going to be the day. Okay, it didn't end up happening. I do think that David will be arrested. I think that there's just too much evidence. I think that the grand jury, maybe they feel like they got to be really thorough, cross their T's, dot their I's. Or maybe the cops have been lazy. They've not got the footage that they needed. We're getting hard drives deleted. I'm getting pissed off even thinking about hard drives getting deleted again. I'm going to calm it down. I'm not going to talk about that again. But it's just a joke. It's a joke. Okay, so look, I'll keep you guys posted. I feel like something might pop off this month. We got a week left. February. Could be time. 24th. They might be hauling the family back into the grand jury room. and you know they're probably going to plead the 5th. And Crit Mac is free, so they're definitely going to be pleading the 5th on 55th Street, okay? Anyway, that's the update, all right? I'm going to be back soon with... I've got 2 more Epstein topics that I actually want to do today, and then tomorrow, I might do some more David deep dives just because there's been a couple of bits of info that I've seen that could be interesting that I might dig deeper into. But for now, that's most updates I've got. So I hope that was useful. Let me know what you thought, and I'll catch you in the next video, guys. Thanks.